Good morning, Asbury, and welcome back to Newswatch3, Asbury's very own news show.
We are so excited to bring you your weekly news. I'm Addie Smith.
And I'm Rachel Law, and this week we're taking a further look into the spiritual renewal that has swept campus.
As well as learning more about a local business trying to keep its doors open amidst inflation.
And we will have our local and national sports updates.
What some are calling revival, awakening, or spiritual renewal on Asbury's campus is still going strong, with movement scheduled to be moved off campus by midweek.
While continuous worship has stopped in Hughes, that has not stopped the event. And for days, Asbury and Wilmore have been packed with many coming to join in the celebration.
Rachel actually takes us with a deeper look into the heart of the revival.
In the small town of Wilmore, Kentucky, Asbury University's campus population of just over 1,000 is a little larger than normal. Thousands are gathered behind me for what some are calling a revival. Wednesday, February 8th, chapel began on campus and it hasn't ended for over 150 hours. As soon as news of the revival hit social media, Christians from all across the country flooded to witness ongoing prayer and the sharing of testimonies.
When this started Wednesday night, I went and there were probably only like 50 students there. I didn't think it was going to turn into this.
When pastor and Asbury men's soccer coach Zach Mearcreeves preached during Wednesday's chapel, he said prayer and worship just kept going.
And then at the very end, I just asked if you want to stick around and experience the love of God or be filled with the Spirit. If you had any questions, I actually said I had coffee at 1 p.m. I missed that coffee because prayer and worship has gone on since then, for now, a week.
An event that attendees say is entirely organic has not been experienced by Asburyans since 1970, the last time a revival of this size occurred.
I think the best way that I could understand it, it just feels new. Like I've never experienced this. I don't think anyone in administration planned or knows. No students, the people that are coming from all over the world. It's just new.
While excited about the influx of gatherers, students share they don't believe the town is the only place it can happen.
There was nothing special about this space or the people inside it. It was just a group of students that were allowing the Holy Spirit to do His work in us.
In Wilmore, Rachel Law, Newswatch 3. Revival services will continue at off-campus sites, soon to be disclosed to the public. The new revival schedule is available on Asbury's website.
Live reporter Spencer Harvey is live outside Hughes with more information on what's going on with the revival moving forward. Hey, Spencer.
Thanks, Addie. I'm here on the steps outside of Hughes Auditorium where you can see people who have lingered out of revival to our green. This has been ongoing for a total of 13 days, with Hughes reaching max capacity multiple times already. It has been full of people who have traveled from all over the states and even other countries. This has filled the small campus with hundreds, if not thousands, of visitors flocking to Wilmore. It has been a historic event for the Asbury campus, but it will soon be coming to an end. President Kevin Brown has recently sent out an email that, as of yesterday, revival is closed to the general public. Only people 25 and under will be allowed in Hughes until the National Collegiate Day of Prayer on Thursday, February 23rd. Normal chapel services will resume on Friday, February 24th. This is all a part of administration working to help students and to try and return to a semblance of normalcy. That's all I have for you at Hughes. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Spencer. While campus worked its way back to normalcy, the experiences from this revival will remain in the hearts of the students and the entire community.
The small town of Wilmore, Kentucky boasts only 2 stoplights and a few stores. Now, the long-standing IGA faces uncertainty as inflation fallout may send the store under. The store's owner, Leonard Fitch, has been in the family business since it was established in 1965. Now, Fitch says they can hardly afford the cost of refrigeration and delivery. The shelves lay barren as they have not been restocked in recent weeks. The cost of the pandemic left Fitch struggling, but with the rising prices, he says he cannot afford to rebound. According to Fitch's daughter, in a good year, they break even. They fell very short of that mark this year. Fitch has already sold his classic Corvette in an effort to keep the store open for as long as possible, but its future is still up in the air. As of now, nothing has been announced about the store closing, and Fitch and his family are still working to hold on to their family business. The recent revival has helped to increase business to the store, which has boosted their sales and given them the best month they've had in a while. Now, this weekend was full of big Asbury sports moments. With updates on our latest local and national sports news, Christian Kotwitz is here. Christian.
Thanks, Rachel. Our Asbury tennis team traveled to Danville, Kentucky to take on Denison University. Ranked 12th in the country, the Big Red outmatched the Eagles 5-0. Asbury was able to put up a fight against Denison in parts of their sets, but failed to match their high-level performance. Asbury looks forward to competing at home for their next match as they host Transylvania University tomorrow at 5 p.m. After an eventful weekend of Asbury athletics, we're going to take a look at some of the top plays that happened for the Eagles. 3 players on the women's basketball team had double-digit points against Welch. Spencer Harvey had 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals. Haley Relaford led the team with 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 steals. Trandy Shearer scored 17 points and also managed to grab 7 rebounds and 4 steals. All 3 of these Eagles played a huge role in their 84-58 win over Welch Saturday, finishing with a 15-10 record in the regular season with only 2 losses at home. They also had 3 players averaging over 10 points on the season. The Lady Eagles play in the NCCAA Midwest Regional Tournament on March 2nd at Alice Lloyd. Speaking of big wins, the baseball team defeated Grove City 13-11. This home run right here by Colton Perkins was an absolute Oppo Taco bomb and helped extend their lead deep in the game and helped secure the win and keep them undefeated with a 2-0 record. They won the first game against Grove City 6-4 and will play NCAA Division II opponent Kentucky State today at 2 p.m. This shot by Caleb Wallace gave the Eagles a last-second win when the men's basketball team played Campbellsville-Harrodsburg and won at the buzzer. They played this Friday at 7 for the regional championship. On to the national stage. Baseball is back, the best time of the year. Spring training started last week, and for the first time in 6 years, teams from around the world will compete in the World Baseball Classic. The Spring Classic has expanded from 16 to 20 teams this year. The first round of pool play will start on March 8th and run through the 15th as Team USA will play Great Britain, Mexico, Canada, and finally Colombia. The top 2 teams from that pool will be moving on to the second round. Over to the NBA. This past weekend, Utah hosted the NBA All-Star Weekend. Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics put on an absolute show, scoring an ASG record of 55 points on 10 made threes. Team Giannis defeated Team LeBron 184-175. And as you can tell, there was hardly any defense, just an outstanding offensive production. This was LeBron James' first loss as an All-Star Game general manager. Well, that's all the sporting news I have for you. Back to you, Addie.
Thanks, Christian. In national news, just over 2 weeks have passed since a Norfolk Southern train derailed and dumped toxic materials near East Palestine, Ohio, but the aftermath lingers. Health concerns have been raised, and the state is opening a health clinic Tuesday for anyone concerned about their exposure. This as several federal agencies send teams to the area. Gloria Pazmino reports.
Illness.
I had a headache for about 8 hours and got sick after that.
And anxiety.
With 2 young children, I don't want to expose them to that.
More than 2 weeks after a Norfolk Southern freight train derailed, unleashing plumes of black smoke and contaminating the soil, residents remain on edge.
We have to look at the health impacts to our vulnerable populations.
Ben Ratner lives in East Palestine. He says he's happy to see a health clinic opening Tuesday to address the growing health concerns.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to go there, especially early on, and get things checked out. Also go to your private doctor and get checked out.
But he's still frustrated with the response.
I do want to remind everybody that this accident happened on the 3rd of February. We're just now getting, regular briefings. We're just now getting the federal government involved. The state is still not declaring it a disaster.
Governor Mike DeWine says the crash does not qualify for federal disaster declaration, but is asking the U.S. government for help.
We've asked for medical experts from the United States Department of Health and Human Services to come to East Palestine.
Those teams are expected on the ground this week, along with experts from the CDC. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Michael Regan is also headed back to East Palestine Tuesday to meet with residents. I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
The official word is the air and water are safe in the Ohio community where the train was derailed. An EPA administrator who was in the area last week is set to return today to meet the state and local officials as well as residents.
President Biden has departed Kyiv, concluding a historic visit to Ukraine. Yesterday, he met with Ukrainian President Zelensky and pledged the U.S. continued support for Ukraine. There were months of planning until last Friday, when President Biden made the final decision to travel to Kyiv. The visit was kept mostly under wraps, especially with the continuing bombardment on the Ukrainian capital. During his visit, the president visited St. Michael's Gold-Domed Monastery, the Walk of Remembrance, and the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv. There has been some backlash from other lawmakers about his visit on President's Day.
Michigan State University students are urging state lawmakers to pass gun reform as soon as possible. It follows last week's mass shooting at MSU when a gunman killed 3 students and critically injured 5 others. Instead of returning to class on Monday, more than 1,000 MSU students gathered outside of the state capitol building in Lansing to demand reform. State Senate Democrats have introduced several gun reform proposals. The first hearing is expected on Thursday. If passed by the Democratic-controlled legislature, the governor is expected to sign the proposals into law.
Today, the city of New Orleans is abuzz because it is Mardi Gras. The day of festivities before the Lenten season has been a city tradition since 1699, and one woman has made it a lifelong tradition of her own for over a century. CNN's Josh Roberson brings us the story about a Mardi Gras Nana who has taken part in the festivities for 103 years.
First, I like seeing the parades, seeing all the people, all the children, the bands and all. We have it all.
At 103 years old, Mary Muniz has seen more parades than most in her lifetime. But as she, friends, and family prepared to watch the crews of Iris and Tux on Saturday, Muniz says she has no intention of stopping now.
I'm still enjoying life. I'm still kicking, but not as high.
Affectionately known as Nana, Muniz was on the Uptown New Orleans parade route to watch her daughter ride with the crew of Iris. She also had a grandson riding with the crew of Tux.
My daughter is 80 years old, so it's been that many years. In fact, I have a little nephew that's in Catholic school, 6 years old, so he knows how old I am. So he told his mother the other day, said, you know, Mama, God is the oldest, and then Nanny, that's me.
Yes, she is everyone's like Nana. I mean, she is awesome.
Leighton Jeremy isn't related to Muniz, but has been part of the group that gathers on the St. Charles Neutral Ground for years. Loved ones at one point even made shirts with some of their favorite Nana quotes. Jeremy says she makes everyone feel like family.
She is like Mardi Gras. Yeah, she is the queen. She is what is good in life.
Muniz says that after more than a century, her love for New Orleans and Mardi Gras hasn't faded one bit, and she still plans to get the most out of life.
The food, we have the people that are just fantastic, and so I'm still enjoying it all. That's why I'm still hanging around.
Well, I certainly hope to be partying like that when I'm 103.
And looking that good.
Thank you so much for tuning in this week.
And trusting us to give you your weekly news.
See you next Tuesday, Asbury.